Here is question number 4 to understand how to write equations representing sinusoidal functions. Question number 4 is, write equation of a sinusoidal function with minimum at 0 degrees minus 2, equation of x is as y equals to 3, and time period of 144 degrees. Now to write the equation, let's first sketch and see what is given to us, right? So sinusoidal function starting with a minimum, which is 0 and minus 2. Equation of x is given to us. So let me just draw a curve here, right? So let's draw a function here, and then we'll fill out what is given to us and try to figure out the equation. So it starts with 0 of minus 2. That means our axis is right there, right? So this is the point, and here the value given to us is minus 2. So on y-axis we have the minimum at minus 2. So 0 and minus 2 gives us the minimum. Equation of x is y equals to 3. That means if I draw a dotted line as axis of this curve, let us say it goes like this, let us say, right? So this line is at y equals to 3. That's what it means. And period is 144. 144 will mean that if we have a 0 here, that means the next minimum should be at 144 degrees. Correct. So that means the time period t is equals to 144, and so k, which should be 360 divided by 144, right? That is what k is. So that is how we can get the value of k. Now it's important to get the maximum also, or the amplitude for this particular function. Now to get the amplitude, what can we do? Amplitude is difference between the axis and the minimum or maximum. Here the difference is 3 minus minus 2. So amplitude is 3 minus of minus 2, and that gives us value of 5. Now we know amplitude as 5. Now how about the maximum? Maximum should be axis plus the amplitude, right? Which is 3 for us, right? So 3 plus 5 gives us 8, and therefore the maximum should be at 8, right? Now with this, I think we got all the parameters which we need to write down our equation. Next important question is, should we write sine or cosine function? That is next question to be answered. Now since we are starting with a maximum or a minimum, it's a good idea to write it as a cosine function, right? So why we are selecting cosine here? Since we are starting with a minimum. Normally a cosine function starts from maximum, right? Now starting with minimum means it is minus cos. That is what it means. So phase shift for a cosine function is a point where the maximum lies. In this case it is starting with minimum. We can write minus cos, correct? So that gives us all the information which we need to write down our equation. And now let us write down the equation. So we prefer to write it in cosine form. So I'm using a standard formula, which is a cosine of k x minus t plus c, right? Now as you can see here, a is 5 for us, and since it starts with minimum, it is negative 5, right? So we can write this as negative 5 cosine of k is 360 by 144. We can use calculator, divide it, and write them in fractions, right? So we have 360 divided by 144. That gives us 2.5, which is 5 over 2 or 2.5. So either way, let's write 2.5. Now since we have started with extreme value, d is 0 for us, and we have taken care of the phase shift with minus, as if it is reflected on the x-axis. So it is x here, right? So that means along this axis we have x. So let me just probably draw a line here. Well, that's all approximate. This is x for us and that is y for us, right? C value is given to us as 3, so we get plus 3. So that becomes our equation, right? I hope that's absolutely clear to you. So let's go through it once again. So what we are given is minimum values given to us, which is at the starting point itself, 0 degrees, with minimum of minus 2. And equation of axis is 3, so that gives us the amplitude. Difference between the axis and the minimum gives us the amplitude. Remember, amplitude is always positive. So difference between 3 and minus 2 is 5. That is the amplitude. Minus, since it starts with minimum. We preferred cosine over sine since the sinusoidal function starts with a maximum or a minimum. Now, phase shift has been taken care of with this negative sign. And axis of symmetry is there as given to us as 3. Now the value of k we found as a ratio of 360 degrees to 144 degrees, which gave us 5 over 2 or 2.5. So we used this value and got our answer. And therefore our solution is y equals to minus 5 cosine of 2.5x plus 3, right? So that is how we can get equation representing the given data. I hope that's absolutely clear. Thank you.